There's a growing number of Australians commuting to work on two wheels.
Have you noticed a change in how more bike-friendly Brisbane's become?
Absolutely.
Ellie Evans has joined what some have described as an active transport revolution.
It's good for me physically, it's good for my mental health, and it's so beautiful around here.
But in parts of the outer suburbs, there's barely a bicycle to be seen.
That's where our most hostile, anti-cycling road landscapes are.
The terrain is really rubbish. It's a 80k road the whole way, there's no shoulder, so I don't do that ride to work, which is a bit sad.
The best Anna Beck can manage is a once-a-week ride to the local school with her daughter Elva. But even that's a challenge in an outer Brisbane suburb. There's no dedicated bike paths, so Anna and Elva take their mountain bikes on a pony trail.
Do many other kids ride to school?
It's a bit grim actually, so there's often about 4 or 5 bikes in a school of around 800.
And here lies the problem. The cycling revolution is not evenly spread, mainly because of the state of our roads.
How much people ride is directly related to how safe they feel, and that's about how good is the road infrastructure.
We've started to do good things. The federal government has a policy they'll invest in bike lanes as part of any federally funded urban project. But Australian cities as a whole, we're a world laggard. In fact, we're one of the worst nations in the OECD now.
Cycling in Australia was more commonplace for both kids and workers for much of last century.
To be a cyclist and go to work was a blue-collar thing, and most people who did it used hacky bikes, often put together by mates in back sheds. We've been cycling cities in the past, we lost that, and we're just starting to get it back.
Northern European cities, such as Copenhagen, have continued with a strong cycling culture into the 21st century, but Australia has struggled.
In Australia, we can't say there is this terrific city that is really the exemplar for everywhere else. All of our cities are okay, and they could be a whole heap better. Even
fit, experienced inner-city bike commuters find Australian traffic daunting.
My commute is 25k, so I only have about 3 kilometres of road out of that 25k, which is fantastic. But, you know, it's those 3k's of road where I get the near misses and the close passes and the abuse.
Part of the solution is linking together the growing network of bike-friendly corridors. That's on the drawing board of all Australian cities, but it's going to take a long time to get there.
Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, you name it, at the rate we're currently investing in safe infrastructure, we will only get there in 50 or 60 years, and I will never see it.
And demand for more cycle-friendly routes is likely to increase, argues transport researcher Professor Matt Burke, with the recent emergence of electric-powered bikes.
I'm an avid e-bike user. It's a transport of delight. It's pretty irresistible, particularly if you've only got a commute of around 3 to 5 kilometres. That is the perfect sweet spot.
Transport policy in this country kind of hasn't noticed that e-bikes have been invented. We should catch up with that.
Rachel Nolan is the chair of Bicycle Queensland and a former state minister for transport.
Do you touch the bottom?
No.
She says another, arguably more controversial option for state governments is to reduce speed limits in residential areas.
The slower the better, frankly. You make it a totally different environment through that simple change.
The whole of Washington DC is down at 30k per hour. It's a low-risk cycling environment. Our speeds are still very high at 50k per hour, alongside, you know, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. We're in really good world company.
Change is coming. Australian cities are slowly becoming more cycle-friendly. It's up to governments to determine the pace of that change.
It is really well understood in policy circles that what prevents people from riding is that they don't feel safe, and that the way to fix it is to help them to feel safe.
It's been a conversion from, oh, we'll just stick a bike lane here because there's space for it, to actually connecting where people need to go. But unfortunately, there's still a few missing links.